So, Françoise, thank you so much for being here and welcome to this crazy city. I wanted to ask you, since we live in times of perpetual war and exhaustion, if we could perhaps start on a more hopeful note, what do you think is the role of imagination in anti-racist politics of protection, as you call them?
Well, thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be in Mexico City. It's my second time, and I hope it's not the last one. Well, I will say, the power of imagination. First, we have to understand that the power that be, imperialists, capitalists, racists, they have no imagination. Like none, right? They are very afraid of imagination. They are afraid of the possibility of people to imagine, other worlds. So, why do, in dictatorship, they kill poets and they kill artists? Or among other people, but nonetheless the target, those, because they bring something, like they say, no, the world we live in, this is not like the sun rising every morning. It was made by social forces that can be made otherwise.
Yes.
And they are very afraid of that. They just know commodity, buying, selling, that's not imagination. The power wants us not to think, not to be joyful, not to sing. They want us to sing along, but not to sing, for a voice. And as you were saying, it's an economy of exhaustion, but also of suffocating. When we say I can breathe, because we are talking not just about the polluted air, but also the atmosphere, the political atmosphere of censorship, of patriarchy. And we say, this is irrespirable.
Speaking of both joy and differentiated vulnerability, I'm thinking of Mexico has, a quite high rate of murder and disappearance specifically of land defenders, right? And defenders of life and nature and water and forests and so on. And within that category, of course, women, specifically indigenous women, are the most vulnerable, again, who are bodies that are disappeared or, victims of femicide by the state or organized crime or both together, and transnational, mining companies, etc. So, but at the same time, I think one of the great teachings I've learned from, walking alongside movements like indigenous land defense is there's always a time for partying.
There is no revolution without singing. People go in the street and they sing. And that's part of their faith, really. Because singing and collectively is an incredible source of joy. You see the face people are transformed. And in the struggle, you can have a lot of setback, a lot of mourning, because comrades and friends are disappeared or killed. But you will not be defeated. You have to make the difference between defeat, because the enemy is implacable. But you're not defeated. And that part of the imagination and radical hope and joy.
If we think of art, imagination, as part of these tools for futurity, for the possibility of not only survival, but thriving in the world, as opposed to, this differentiated vulnerabilization. What are your tools for the future and for the present?
First, I say one of the liberating things is curiosity. We can learn, constantly learn. There's no harm to learning. I love what people do with their hands. How there is an unlimited creativity, unlimited desire to do things. So I will say that is important.